My name is Melanie Mosby. I'm in ACS 203, Section 500, and today I'm going to talk about feminist approaches to organizational communication. This specific approach emphasizes activism and highlights issues between organizing and feminism. The main idea of the feminist approach is that traditional organizations are patriarchal or favor men in terms of language and organizing. Traditional or classical views will highlight stereotypical male characteristics such as autonomy, competitiveness, and individualism. While on the other hand, stereotypically female or feministic characteristics are seen as weak, such as empathy, connectedness, and cooperation. This lays down a foundation of ideas within the organization that females are not fit to lead, or that people who show stereotypically female characteristics would not make good leaders. Scholars who take a feministic approach to organizational communication all have four beliefs in common. The first is that gender is the main way that power relations are decided in organizations. The second is that work is the main place that these are organized. The third is that dominant systems of gender privilege males over females. And the fourth is that gender, power, and organization are all continuously created and changed in daily life through the use of communication. And though all feminists agree on these four ideas, there are 5 different types of feminists within this approach. The first of the 5 is the liberal feminist, who believes that we as women should work to gain our fair share of power in institutions and organizations. A liberal feminist would believe that changes to the system should be made from the inside and not the outside. The second type is a radical feminist who believes that the emancipation of women can only come from the destruction of male-dominated institutions and organizations. A radical feminist believes that it pretty much all needs to be torn down and started from scratch. The third type is a standpoint feminist. A standpoint feminist is someone who works to make the voices of marginalized people more heard in social dialogue. A standpoint feminist would speak out and advocate not only for women, but for people of color or people who are disabled, anyone in any minority. The fourth type of feminist is a postmodern feminist who works to deconstruct the male-dominated meaning systems, therefore highlighting a female point of view. And the fifth and final type of feminist is a pluralistic feminist, who is someone who can get behind the idea that we need social change, but is not necessarily anti-government, anti-bureaucratic. A pluralistic feminist might agree that changes need to happen and that power is unevenly balanced, but that we don't need to deconstruct entire institutions and start from the ground up. Just as important as it is to recognize white privilege in America as a white person, it is also very important, whether you're male or female, to understand the divide of power and the imbalance of power between males and females.